mean, I was thinking too, how do people stop the scooter, right? They would just turn off the ignition. No, this is what the kill switch is for, so you can actually stop it. So you do actually go back and forth on this quite often. I just thought you hit the brake and eventually it dies out on its own, you know, like you put the car in park. But there is no park. This is your kill switch. And I believe these are the wires here that triggers when you push the button, that little start button here in the yellow. It causes the magnet relay spring to come up and make these two contacts to actually give 12 volts to your starter motor, the Shin one, and that turns everything over, your stator and everything like that, and which then rocks the pistons, and then the combustion helps to kick it in where it's automatic. So when people do a manual start, what they're really doing, there's a little starter gear, a kickstart, right? So what they're really doing is when they push this down, there's a mechanism behind the variator that triggers and turns, but then again, you need power to be turned on still. I don't think you need to hold the brake lever. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember because I don't use the kickstart long enough to remember it. But then again, I think it forces the engine to turn this mechanism if you were to actually use electric starter, which these are, you know, your starter motor does that for you. You know, this is kind of like if you're ever stuck and your starter motor is bad and you need to kick your scooter over, but you still have other ways of getting combustion, then this will be your next resort. You can just kick this. There's a gear here that turns the bigger gear, or turns a smaller gear, bigger gear, and then all of a sudden, you know, your piston's rocking, and then there's spark that ignites, and your engine starts on its own. So it's not like you mechanically, you know, just push this, and all of a sudden everything's like a dry. There's no fluid or fumes or combustions or ignition. There's still all that to make sure that the engine can actually start automatically. So that's it. That's what my thing is. I believe that's what. And then there's the rectifier that converts the stator to be able to actually make DC charging your battery, because your battery needs DC input. It takes the AC coming in from your stator, because your stator is like an AC flywheel, and it comes over here. So all this is all in proper timing, because if you miss out, one door closes, one door opens, like your intake and exhaust, they need to actually synchronize their opening and closing very like in the nanoseconds, right, or milliseconds at least, to make sure that the air flows in, gets used, and thrown back out the waste. And that's how it all cycles in. So that's why you can see here, look at this. This is already fogging up. I feel a little bit of heat on the valve cover. So you also want to expect to make sure that anything that you have, like the hose connection, it's not going to go and interfere with your normal day operation, or else if it gets burned out, you know, you're going to have a bunch of fume smell. That's it. But still, you don't want that. So you want to make sure you lift it off. Here, I try to get everything off. You see my ground wire is kind of pinched on here, which is fine. This is actually pretty cool. And you can see here the stator wire and stuff like that, and the starter wire. You can see how I tucked it above. It's kind of hovering. It's kind of borderline there, almost touching the crankcase. But the crankcase, it hasn't started for very long yet. And this part is still cold. But after a while, it's not going to get hot. And you don't want to start burning your insulation of your wire and stuff like that and causing more electrical damages. So you want to inspect to make sure that all wires are off the hot crankcase as possible, especially your fuel line. See my fuel line here? You know, this swing bar here that holds the engine, it actually stays cold. You know, it stays at whatever temperature the environment is. It's not going to transfer the heat, but it still conducts a good gallic ground, just like this one. Speaking of ground, we're going to take care of all the rust issue, and then we're going to primer. I'm probably going to take back that gray primer and get a black primer if there's one. You know, take care of all these little spots here that has rust, because rust actually can spread like a virus sort of. So you don't want any of these rusts. So we'll start sanding them down, scrape them off, and then we're going to spray them with primer that protects the rust from spreading itself like a virus. So that's it. If you look at the wiring I have here, see it's tucked away. It's not on the crankcase. Most of the wires are afloat, especially even the spark plug wires. They're thick, but for longevity, you just want to keep it off the crankcase. Anything that can get hot around there, or even caught in this flywheel wheel, which that's why the fan shroud is for, and it's supposed to insulate this cooling mechanism. If you see how it cools, your cylinder head actually has another hole here. Watch, I'm going to show you underneath where we're going to install the exhaust in a few. If I keep on not talking about other things, you can see here your exhaust. See that right there? If you never noticed it, it has another hole right there. That hole is actually just a bunch of fins like these to keep the cool. So it's like, that's why they call it forced air cooled. You know, this is like a air cooled setup. So the fan shroud works. I wish the Zenon would get, well, sorry. Let me make sure it gets back to resolution. Okay, I wish the Zenith did come with a little bit of rubber for the valve cover, so it can really isolate the fan shroud to really target the heating area. So this works like a heat sink. That's why it has all these fins. It's not just for design. And then it actually goes right in there, and it cools everywhere around. So the more you can keep your engine cool, especially your motor oil cool, the more your engine can actually perform. So that's why I think maybe a oil cooler in the future, like in summertime, will be ideal. I think the SSBG 180 has an issue with overheating a lot, just simply because it's just a lot of power. So there goes, here's our exhaust there. If you see that, that is actually not an exhaust valve. That's actually just one of these fins. If I take a light and shine it where the spark plug is, right here, if I open the spark plug and shine it, you'll see a light come right through, and it just shows these fins right here. And it looks like a valve stem, but it's not. There is a valve stem inside here though. You'll see the exhaust valve stem, just like you've seen the intake manifold valve stem on top of this other side, where it feeds in the gas and air mixture, so the piston combustion and thing can work. So yeah, so we're here now, so let's go ahead and start mounting our exhaust so we can get the scooter a little bit more quieter. Let's see, make sure everything's turned off. Oh, it's not yet, so let me go and reach for the keys. Turn it off this way, the kill switch is on, so. All right, so here we go. I think these thread size are the golden one. They're the Tata ones. They're Allen bolts to actually get them in, and then there's bolts to secure them in. So you can see it starts up really well, no problem on the cold start. Charade battery is known to be much better performance than acid battery as far as cold start, especially if you live somewhere where it's, you know, in the East Coast and stuff where it's just snowing. Your best bet is try to get a Charade battery, but don't do it yet until your scooter cranks over. How about that? Or else you'll have to go to the manufacturer, and hopefully they'll honor the warranty if you keep on abusing their battery like that. So let's do, and here we go. These are, I believe, the exhaust studs here. They didn't actually have washer. I guess they're flange. So that's their washer probably built in. And I believe there are M12. So let me go and find the M12 real quick. This look like 11 millimeter. Look like 12 millimeter. 9/16. I need a socket. This might be it here. Ta-da! M12. That's what we need. Okay, make sure. I might be wrong. Yeah, it's M12. M12 or maybe M10, huh? Or maybe M11, who knows? Yeah, it seems like it's staying in there. Alright, so we need extension 2. Alright, there we go. Alright, we need socket. And then we need a leg. We'll use our right leg to help hold the so let's go and put that in there. And before I keep on rattling this, I'm going to try to pull it out of this groove. Oh, you can't see it now. It's coming from heaven, huh? Okay, what I'm going to do is try to focus first. Shake this off. And let me go and put this back in the groove here. So we have another project car we're working on too. Change out the axle boot. Okay, let me go ahead and get this ready. We're going to drive it in to our exhaust. I'm just going to get you an angle where you can see it actually coming and where it's going. There we go. Same time, I need to get the phone charged. It won't run out of storage because I always transfer all of my videos back to my computer every night, and then I delete it first thing in the morning. That way I have free up storage on my phone. I'm just recording to you guys on my Note. I think it's a Note 5 Samsung. I probably have this phone for almost a year now, and I have this great fast charger here. I'm sorry, I'm endorsing a lot of products here, but they're Anker brand. They're amazing. I mean, they have the quick charge. I think the other one's IQ charge, which is more intelligent somewhat. But anyway, quick charge is what I do. You can deal with the Samsung rapid charger too, but I use this also for my USB car charger. and also for the portable one. So Anchor brand, I just love them. I had it for almost a year and a half now. No problem whatsoever, as long as I don't, you know, really force and damage it physically. So try to do is use a glove here, protect the base of the charger. That way I could just put it anywhere rough, as long as it doesn't get scraped. Mainly cosmetic damage, really. But I just try to keep care of my things, you know. You try to not, it's not the fact that you want to make your, you know, dollar last longer. You don't want to keep on spending for a replacement. Most of these manufacturers only a year warranty, so I'm probably out of it already, but it still works well. There you go, got plugged in. Let me get some more light here for you. I can adjust, I guess. Let's see if I can get a better angle. Try to get better and better, right? You see what the rectifier is too, but we don't need to see the rectifier. Yeah, we're working on a Honda Accord 96. We're replacing the, I believe it's the front CV axle boot. Not that I know how to do it, to be honest with you. I'm just saying we're working on it, but it's not me really. I'm just trying to get the scooter up to par, so it will be my primary transportation, preferably. And we live so close to Yosemite National Park, it's going to be a blast. You know, take an hour drive up, get up there the hill, so you definitely want some power. And, you know, 150 probably won't do it much. You might be able to, depending on how you, you know, tune it. All right, so I'm going to put the covers back on my thing so it won't hit any bumps and scrapes along the way of me trying to first fit this in. It feels like a good, I think this feels like a good maybe 2 pounds tops. It feels like a little bit lighter than the lithium battery. I mean, it feels like a little bit heavier just slightly than the lithium battery. The lithium battery is 2 pounds, so this might be about a good, maybe 3 pounds then. Okay, so if you, oh wait, I need to get my NCY gasket here. I took it out for show and tell, but I'm not sure if I put it back in the same spot. Let me go ahead and grab it. Get kind of messy here. Where are you? Okay, let me find it real quick. All right, you can see it here. There it is. Our nice gasket. See that? Look at that quality. You can see why. Sorry, that's not the right one. This is it. There you go. So that's NCY quality right there. This one is the other one that came with it. So you can tell by the imitation right there. That's supposed to be brand new, by the way. Never been used. It came with the set. Maybe I just got a mixed one here, huh? But yeah, see that one? Looks much nicer. So we're gonna put that underneath.